Guten Tag. My name's Jake, and this is Connor. And here we are with another reaction and review of Doctor Who. Today we'll be watching...
The Empty Child.
Alright. And,
I'm definitely not empty though. I'm very, very full of biscuits.
So, last week we watched,
Father's Day.
Father's Day.
Daddy's Day.
Daddy Day, and it was absolutely great. I gave it a 9, you gave it a 10.
Correct.
Brilliant episode. And, yeah.
Yep. So before we watch this, every time I'm going to be asking you guys, what should we do about the spin-offs? Because I really want to watch them with Jake, but I do, to some regard, consider your opinions. Not really, but I do. I want to know what you want to see, which might influence me a little bit. But to be honest, I do want to watch them on YouTube with Jake, so we'll see.
Yep.
Anyway,
remember to leave a comment because we'll be reading comments.
We
every
will.
Episode.
We will. Rightio. So, The Empty Child. Let's go.
Yep. This already looks like a very high budget episode. High octane speed chase.
The Empty Child by Stephen Moffat.
Ah. Who did Stephen Moffat did another one in this season?
Blink.
Ah. That's where I know. Alright. So, I've actually seen a small part of this episode.
I think everyone has.
Yeah. So
It's famous.
to the viewers, I have seen a small part of this episode before, so...
But you haven't seen the plot. You've
Yeah,
only
yeah.
seen, Are You My Mummy?
Yeah.
Oh, this music.
It's very sexy.
It almost feels like film noir.
Yeah. This is the 40s, obviously.
Has anything fallen from the sky recently? In the 40s. Did you see that poster?
Yeah, the Blitz.
The Blitz. Fucking hell, that'd be scary.
Jesus. Good old green screens. Whoa, that's cool. Jesus, they really blew the load on this episode.
Yeah, maybe not this t-shirt. Of all times to be wearing it.
It's Batman. This is Mummy.
Who is this?
This is a very spooky episode. They've hit a different note.
Yeah. It's called the Stephen Moffat Note.
Good thriller writer.
Yes.
Wow, she's got some fucking bloody good core strength to be holding on still.
Remember she was on the gymnastics team though. That's how she saved the doctor in the
Right.
first episode.
Sorry, old man. I gotta go meet a girl. But you got an excellent bottom, too.
Excellent bottom.
Fucking Americans.
Oh. She's stealing.
Thieving level 82.
Is she in the guild? That rope burn.
Oh no. Sorry, what?
Device indicates non-contemporaneous
Ah.
life form.
She's not from around here, no.
Neither is he, obviously.
No.
Hello?
Mommy.
This is so gritty.
Yeah. Like you said, very film noir.
Yes.
Thanks, miss. Of course I'm not a copper. What's a copper gonna do to you lot anyway? Arrest you for starving? Go on, get a Union Jack. I mean a specific one. I didn't just wake up this morning with a craving. You've been the only child left out in the cold, you know.
Suppose you know,
I do actually, yes.
it's not exactly a child.
There's just so much about his past that we don't know.
Yeah.
And it always like teases you when he alludes to it.
Yeah. You don't know if he's joking or not.
You alright?
You mustn't let him touch. It's empty. Sin. He can make phones when he can. It's like. You say whatever you want to.
I used that thing to describe Mickey Smith in the first episode.
Yeah.
You just handed me a piece of paper telling me you're single and you work out.
Tricky thing, psychic paper.
Let your mind wander when you're handing it over.
Stop acting now. I know exactly who you are. I can spot a time agent a mile away.
I imagine.
I've been expecting one of you guys to show up.
Ooh, getting all up close and personal.
Robots. The air in here is full of them. They just repaired 3 layers of your skin. Shall we have a drink on the balcony?
He's so charming. Captain Jack Harkness. Got a big spaceship, I got a bottle of wine, and I can repair your skin.
I've got robots that repair your skin. Jesus Christ. I don't understand why he's in the story yet. You never get a reaction from Connor when you ask.
I don't want to give you any spoilers. He's kind of outdoing the Doctor, though, isn't he?
to. Oh yeah.
Nothing. Juries have special powers too.
What are you trying to say?
Good night, mister. Need to talk to first.
Who might that
Doctor.
Yeah.
I try never to discuss business with a clear head.
Look at the way he's sitting.
So fucking American.
Are you traveling?
Do you have the time?
Do you like Glenn Miller?
Rose is getting wooed, and the Doctor's saving the world. But she deserves it after Father's Day.
Yeah. She deserves a bit of Captain Jack Harkness.
Captain Jack Sparrow?
No. This guy's not fucking Jack Sparrow. Milady! Where's the rum?
I really want to watch Pirates of the Caribbean now.
Easy. I'll just stay for alien tech.
Captain Jack.
He's ticking all the boxes. The doctor's got his shitty little glasses. It's actually kind of like the difference between like Britain and America.
Yeah.
Like the doctor is Britain, he's got all the crappy little things, but he's still like
Still the best.
he's still the best. Whereas Captain Jack's got like the big
Yeah.
fucking ship and like.
Have you seen those videos of the SAS fighting alongside the Marines? And the SAS are always just in like t-shirt and shorts, but the Marines are in like full camo kit.
Yeah. My dad always gets angry when he sees like American footballers wearing lots of padding, because as a kid, like he played rugby in bare feet.
Oh god.
He's like, back in the day, I was a fucking tough young lad.
Save the woo.
It's kind of cool how he's admiring our efforts,
yeah.
like human efforts. Oh, it's just so gritty. I love it. You know, like in movies, how they like have gun concepts. They build the gun and then they throw shit on it to make it look more grit.
Yeah.
That's what this episode is.
Yeah.
It's like polished material and then it's muddied.
Yeah.
This feels like Batman, like Arkham
Yeah.
Asylum or something. This music's excellent.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like that. You know how I was showing you that music from the old Daleks? It's like Murray Gold's version of that.
Yeah.
It feels like.
Massive head trauma, mostly to the left side. Partial collapse of the chest cavity, mostly to the right. There's some scarring on the back of the hand, and the gas mask seems to be fused to the flesh, but I can't see any burn.
Examine another one.
Mm.
All of them, right down to the scar on the back of the hand. How did this happen? How did it start?
That book.
Shit. Whoa, what the fuck?
Oh. It's fucking terrifying.
Ugh. This would have terrified people back then.
Yes. Kids.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. It terrifies me now.
Yeah.
Interrupting, Jack. Real pleasure to meet you, Mr. Spock.
Mr. Spock.
What was I supposed to say? You don't have a name. Don't you ever get tired of Doctor? Doctor who?
Man said she was in.
Mhm.
Where have you been? Shula.
Chula.
U-boat captain? Anyway.
Bo- He's like, boat captain?
Nothing to do with that.
Mommy. Mommy.
It's a two-parter.
Yep.
Ah.
Right, so what do you think of that episode?
I thought it was good. Very completely different tone
Yes.
to any other episode we've watched.
Definitely. That's what I was saying before about late in the season, the tone changes.
Yeah.
Generally.
More dark,
Definitely
for sure.
more.
The darkest episode we've watched.
Yeah.
I liked it though. I really did like it.
Yeah.
But like I said, I have seen bits of that.
Yeah.
But
But you got like the full view
Yeah.
of it this time.
So I saw the section when Nancy leaves the doctor at the steps, and the doctor goes in and meets the other doctor, and I've seen up until the doctor turns into
The-
the masked man.
But did you see that scene before or no?
I have seen that scene.
Oh, yeah.
So I've seen that sequence before.
Ah,
But I
okay.
haven't seen the preliminary to that or the
Yes,
ending.
you haven't seen any of the stuff with Captain Jack then?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was interested. I was like, have you seen Captain Jack before? But no, you haven't.
No.
No. Right. So, what do you think of the Doctor in this episode?
Oh, he was great.
Yeah.
He was our eyes this episode.
Yes, yes.
We were experiencing the story through him.
I liked how he had no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah, that was cool. How it even stumped him.
Yeah. It's like a big challenge, this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly like just this is kind of like the kind of thing that I like to see the Doctor doing. Just
Yeah.
going somewhere, not knowing what the hell's going on, and finding out.
Yeah.
And he walks into some scary shit.
Yeah.
I love his thing at the dinner table where he sits down with the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just out of
that was
nowhere.
so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Eccleston, like in every episode, he's great.
Yeah.
And and even in some of the limited ones, like the long game, like he just excels.
Yeah.
He's a great actor.
For sure.
And I love his chemistry with Nancy.
Mm.
And yeah, his reaction to the child was so curious.
Yeah.
Everyone
It
else
wasn't-
was scared of
wasn't
it.
fear. It was like, ooh.
Yeah, this is
something
interesting.
new.
Yeah, I love the way he figured it. He was like finding out about like how it's
Yeah.
injuries is plague. That was
Yeah.
so cool. And I like how when he saw the Dr. Constantine talk, he transforms into the gas mask. Like he's just looking at it like sad.
Yeah.
He's just like, oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, excellent. What do you think of Rose?
Bit daft. But
I think she was a bit of
bit
a
overwhelmed.
bit of a blonde.
Yeah. Bit of a blonde.
Yeah.
But she was more our comedic relief this episode.
Yeah.
I don't know. Didn't really
Not her best.
not the best.
But the thing is, the last episode, she
Yeah.
got the full
Exactly.
Father's Day treatment.
Exactly.
So,
Can't complain.
What do you think of Captain Jack Harkness?
I think the actor's really good.
John Barrowman.
Yeah. He's like a budget Tom Cruise.
He's in. Hang on, I'm gonna get it. It's gonna come to my head. Is it Green Arrow? I think he's in Green Arrow.
Right.
Yeah. He's older, obviously, because it's Green Arrow's new.
Yep.
But this is him back then when he was still like, I think he was like 36 when he filmed this.
Oh, really?
Doesn't look 36. He looks
No.
about 25.
Yeah.
He's young for his age. I think he's about 50 now.
Young for his age.
Huh?
Oh, that
He
makes
looks-
sense. Never mind.
Yeah, he looks young for his age.
I was so confused by that.
Yeah, he's about 50 now.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I think he's super charming.
Yeah.
Super
Charming
cool.
fella.
Yeah. I mean, I've always noticed that American actors tend to be a bit more over the top than British, and it's a bit noticeable. But still, I think he gets away with it.
Yeah. He's very
He's very charismatic.
he's like a
He's definitely a step up from Adam Mitchell. Jesus
sure.
Christ.
for sure.
Yeah, he's way more deserving of
Yep.
that like role than Adam was.
I didn't even realize we were coming to the end. I thought we were only like halfway through.
Oh, we were when we were at the long game, yeah.
What? No, I mean in that episode.
Oh, you mean in the episode?
Yeah,
Yeah.
when it got to the
Oh,
end, I
because it
was-
was so hooking.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the whole way through, it was just like finding out stuff, and then
Yeah.
it just stops.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I like Captain Jack.
Captain Jack Sparrow.
I mean, maybe there was that when the reveal that he was a con man was maybe a little bit
It was
obvious.
a bit over the top. Yeah. It was a bit like, well,
The thing is, I think he's actually just a good guy,
yeah.
and he's sort of like coming out. He's like, I'm a con man.
I just want to know where his origin is. Like, is he a human or?
Well, he said he used to be a time agent,
right.
and now he's a freelancer.
But does time agent mean he's a human or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. This is Do you want me to explain it like without spoilers?
Will I find out more?
Yeah, but I can sort of explain it to you like without giving
Okay.
spoilers. So there is a point in time where humans discover time travel.
Right.
and it's not as like high tech as the Time Lords who have
Right,
like literal like magic.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's the 51st century he's from,
Oh, okay.
and yeah, he used to work for the Time Agency.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's an older human. Like an older century human.
You mean newer century?
Oh, newer.
Future century. 51st century.
Yeah. Not older, newer. I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, there's more so yeah, there's like obviously like he can time travel, but
Yeah.
it's not quite the same though.
Right.
It's not like, I'm trying to think of a good example of like comparison. It's like you've seen Revenge of the Sith, right?
Yep.
You know how like General Grievous had those bodyguards with like the lightning staffs?
Yep.
That's like, and they kind of act like lightsabers, but they're not really.
Right.
That's like Captain Jack's version of time travel.
Right.
Whereas the Doctor is like
Like-
is a Jedi with a
like-
lightsaber.
Budget time travel.
Yeah, exactly. Quick and cheap time travel.
Yeah.
Like discovered by humans.
He's a budget Tom Cruise using budget
Yeah.
time travel.
Whereas the Doctor is the Jedi Master with the lightsaber and the
Yeah.
Force and everything.
Yep.
Yeah. And the child. What do you think of the child? The empty child.
Mommy.
It's a good image, I think.
It's
It's very iconic.
Cool image. I just
Yeah.
wish like the line was different. Like,
Yeah.
because then it doesn't really make sense. Well, it does make sense because he was the patient zero, the child,
Yeah.
and he would have been like asking him, "Where's my mom? I'm
Yeah.
dying."
Yeah. I do see what
And
you
then
mean. It's a bit repetitive,
Yeah.
but it's sort of functionally it makes sense.
Yeah.
What did you think of Nancy?
She was cool. She was like a cool.
It was interesting,
reconnaissance.
like how she was kind of like a Robin Hood kind of character.
Yeah.
Where they went into someone's house and stole all their food, but she was
Yeah.
feeding hungry children.
Take from the rich and give to the poor.
Yeah. Socialism. Oops. Dr. Constantine.
He's cool.
He only had like a few minutes, but I
Yeah.
think he already made an impact.
Definitely, he was a great.
He was kind of like Clive from the first episode. He had that kind of role, like a very short scene, but
Yeah.
made an impact.
a little bit more in depth though than Clive.
Yeah.
Um,
And acting wise, very different.
acting very-
Clive's just a bloke, whereas Dr. Constantine was very intense.
Yeah.
Everyone has died. Well,
Yeah.
not really. Yeah. And then there was a couple of side characters. There was like the kids, and then there was the people that own the houses.
Yeah.
Um,
The fat British.
Yeah. There wasn't really that much else.
They reminded me of what's Harry Potter's cousins?
The Dursleys.
Parents. Yeah.
The Dursleys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reminded me of them.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, there was just the people that were sitting around
Yeah.
in the lovely theatre.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
It's gorgeous. Right. So I think we've discussed all the characters.
Yeah.
So what do you think of the plot?
Obviously it's only half the plot,
Mhm.
so there's still some to go, but it's very mysterious and very like unique. Like I would have never have thought of something like this ever in my life.
Yeah.
And there's so many different like unique plot lines, like Jack being a traveling con man that's trying to trick them into
Yeah.
him being a time agent.
Yeah. It's later on things change, and I'll get into that when we get to it. But at this stage, when I compare like Russell T Davies and Stephen Moffat, they sort of have the same thing where they pack a lot into one episode,
Yeah.
but they do it very differently.
Right.
Like Russell feels more like an action-packed sort of writer,
Yeah.
whereas Moffat is more of like an intriguing writer.
Yeah.
More mystery.
I quite like his style of writing.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, Moffat's writing it's like you said, it's very different.
Yeah.
He's a one of a kind. He's
Yeah.
one of a kind guy. No one else could write like him. That's the thing.
Yeah, and the two plot lines that are going on are so different from each other as well. So
Yeah. So I
It's
think
interesting.
the plot's really good. Like in this episode, it's really intriguing.
I am definitely keen
And there's
for
some,
part
and there's
two.
some, yeah, and there's some nice comedy in there as well. Like
Yeah.
the big nose or big ears part, that was funny.
Yeah.
Like when the doctor said, what did he say? He's like, I'm looking for a blonde in a Union Jack shirt. And I'm not thinking just a random one. I didn't just come with the craving. Yeah, real good plot. Okay, so YouTube clip, right? So this is sort of an example of when Doctor Who gets really scary.
Right.
So the one we're going to be watching is from an episode called Fury from the Deep.
Right.
And I don't think, because some of the old episodes aren't fully recovered, there is there's some episodes that are quite patchy.
Yep.
So I think the clip we're going to be watching has some still images, but I know that the end section has video of it.
Okay.
And this is an example of Doctor Who at its most like creepy, like on the level of the gas mask child and stuff.
Right.
Right. And it's called Mr. Oak and Mr. Quill.
What?
Mrs. Harris.
Oh, my husband isn't here. He's at the compound.
Oh dear, that does make it rather difficult.
What are you doing in here? Is it something that you want?
That was weird. It's hard to follow because of the,
Yeah, of
the
course.
stills.
It's unfortunate that's happened.
Yeah.
But like just the
It was creepy.
the
Yeah.
thumping and like when they open their mouths, like when Mr. Quill opens his eyes and his mouth, like
Yeah.
he goes to so extremes. Like
And also the reverse shot of Mr. Oak in the mirror. The
Yeah.
mirror was
Yeah.
creepy.
fucking hell, man. It's pretty creepy.
Creepy shit.
Creepy shit. Fury from the Deep. Yeah, so basically like the infection is like seaweed growing on them, and like they spread this gas that kills people.
Right.
It's coming from the ocean.
Yeah.
Woo. Right. So back to the Empty Child now. This episode is universally loved and appreciated.
Yeah.
One of the most memorable and popular stories in the history of the show.
Yeah.
And it's highly regarded amongst all different fan circles.
This is Ina's favorite episode as well.
Stephen Moffat's script has been praised particularly. Christopher Eccleston says this is his favorite story he ever did.
Oh, really?
Yep. It won an award for... Sorry, no. Oh, no, sorry, no, sorry, my bad. It won an award for Best Presentation Short Form, and it was nominated for the award that Dalek won.
Right.
So it won one award, and it was nominated for the one that Dalek won.
Right.
Yeah. So it's written by Stephen Moffat. Stephen Moffat has done more Doctor Who than anybody else, and this was his first episode.
Really?
Yeah. So
Wait, has he done more than Davies?
more than Davies,
Ah,
and even more than Robert Holmes, who did a lot in the old series.
what a great entrance.
Yeah, this is his. I mean, he did do one like mock one with like Rowan Atkinson playing the Doctor, but it's not canon.
Right.
It was like a comedy, but this is his first legitimate one.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's written more Doctor Who scripts than anyone.
Jeez.
Yeah. His breakthrough show was a comedy called Press Gang. And he was known as a comedy writer his whole career before Doctor Who. So he wasn't known for this kind of thing.
Drama.
No, not drama. I'm saying like he wasn't known for like doing dark shit.
Yeah.
He never expressed it. He only ever did comedy. So this was like a surprise to see this come from him.
Yeah.
He also created and runs the show Sherlock.
Ah, the one with
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yep.
Yep. He created and runs that show.
Shit.
He also wrote for the Tintin movie.
The animated one.
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah. So he's very accomplished.
Yeah, he's all over the show.
All over the show. He is a controversial, polarizing, and ambitious writer, but his early Doctor Who works are regarded as some of the best. Moffat says, despite what you may think, it was going to be even scarier originally.
Right.
There were sound design ideas that would have cracking skulls and whatnot.
Jesus.
Sadly, Moffat doesn't share the same appreciation for this story as the fans do. He likes it, but he thinks it's too slow, which explains why a lot of his later works are breakneck pace and unnecessarily fast.
Right.
That really annoys me because I like the pace of this episode,
Yeah.
whereas he doesn't, and
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, come on. Why'd you have to like mess up something so good?
Yeah.
Apparently Moffat got the script in terribly late and feared he'd be sacked, but apparently Russell was over the moon and sent him multiple emails about how much he loved the script.
It's hilarious.
Yeah. The director was James Hawes.
Yep.
He's directed Merlin, Mad Dogs, Penny Dreadful, and Black Mirror.
Yep.
I thought the direction was amazing. It was great. Obviously, some of the CGI was a bit off the green screen stuff, but that's just down to
Limitations.
budget. That's just down to budget. But in terms of like the gritty, like
Yeah.
atmospheric, dusty-looking old war shots, that was amazing. Really good. Can't fault it at all. Yeah. So, what do you think? Did you think the direction was good?
Yeah, I thought it was undeniably the 1940s. Yeah, there's no, you can't mistake it for anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just it was very dark and ominous, and all the shadows, the plays on shadows, and just very tight shots.
Yeah.
Helped with the creepiness and the suspense.
Just that whole scene inside the.
Put your mic to your mouth.
Oh, sorry. Just that whole scene inside the, like when the jazz place.
Yeah.
What do they call that? Sorry. What do they call that room?
Just like a jazz lounge.
It's just a jazz. That whole scene in the jazz lounge was great.
Yeah.
And then like all like the Dutch angles and stuff when the
Yeah.
phone was ringing and with the kid going to the door.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just so iconic,
Yeah.
so memorable. Yeah, just fantastic. Murray Gold in this one was great again.
Yeah.
He didn't put in a lot of his like musical tracks. It was more just sort of background music.
Yeah.
And it worked.
It was like atmosphere music, atmospheric
Yeah,
sounds.
definitely. He used a lot of old school songs, like Moonlight Serenade as well, like playing the 90s. It's like in the last one they played 80s music for Father's Day. In
Yeah.
this one they played 40s music,
Yeah.
which was cool. I was really struggling to pick a track for this because there's nothing on the soundtrack from this episode.
Right.
There is a video with like an unreleased suite of this episode,
Right.
but I feel like if I play it, it would just be repeating like what we've already heard.
Yeah. Should we just skip?
Yeah, I
music?
think we can skip the track for this one. I think we got it. Like
Yeah.
we got the vibe.
Sweet.
Yeah. So yeah, unfortunately we have to skip it. I wish it was on the soundtrack though.
Yeah.
It's just annoying how they only pick like the catchy ones
Yeah.
as opposed to the more like backing track sort of thing.
Yeah.
But it was really good.
Yeah.
So yeah, you liked the music?
Yeah, I love jazz,
Yeah.
being a musical person.
Yeah.
So, that whole jazz section was just I love saxophone. Oh.
It is nice. It is really nice.
And I also appreciate all that atmospheric stuff. It's difficult to be minimalistic in and also still convey a theme and a feeling through the
Yeah.
the music.
You know what I kind of like about Murray Gold in this one is he sort of let the story speak for itself.
Yeah, well, it was such a well crafted dialogue script.
Yes.
He didn't really need
Yeah.
to emphasize any musical points, stuff like that.
Definitely. Well done.
So, yeah.
Right. So some trivia.
Trivia.
Time agents have briefly been mentioned in the old series and the expanded universe before this, but very brief.
Yeah.
Hasn't been properly put into the plot until now.
Yep.
There is. I actually didn't write down what it was, but the Doctor in. Oh yeah, that's right. No, he indirectly references because the first Doctor, one of his companions was his granddaughter, like his
Yep.
actual granddaughter. And you know when he's talking to Dr. Constantine? Dr. Constantine says, I was a grandfather and a father, now I'm neither.
Yep.
And the Doctor says, oh, I know the feeling.
Right.
He was like referencing his granddaughter,
Ah.
who was an actual character.
Yeah.
The Doctor's jacket is in fact a 1938 German U-boat commander's jacket. So it was an accurate, comment by
It's
Jack.
hilarious.
Yeah. Captain Jack Harkness is the first openly LGBT character in the history of the show. So you remember in the first scene, he was like complimenting Rose's bum,
Yeah.
and then he spanked the other guy's bum.
Right.
He's like, "You got a nice one too." Yeah. So he's like, I would say he's bisexual, but he's probably even more than that. Like he's super duper pansexual
Yeah.
because he's from the 51st century.
Yeah.
So he's got very open views.
Yeah.
Which is an interesting concept.
He's interracial sexual,
Mm.
interspecies sexual,
Yeah.
intergalactic sexual.
But yeah, he's the first open LGBT character in the show.
Ah.
Yeah. So there you go.
Big steps.
There you go. The hospital is. You alright?
Yep.
Yeah. The hospital is the same one from Aliens in London where the space pig was.
Ah.
It's,
Wait, it's the exact same one.
Yeah.
Like
In story.
Geographically.
In story.
Geographically.
In story,
Yeah.
it's the same hospital.
That's cool.
Yeah. So it's kind of weird how like these events happen before those
Yeah.
ones.
Wait, what's it called again? The
Uh,
Albion Hospital. Or
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's more sanitized than it was back then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jack says fully equipped Chula warship. Chula is the restaurant where Stephen Moffat met Mark Gatiss, Rob Sherman, and Paul Cornell to celebrate getting the job.
Hmm.
So that was what Chula was about.
Right.
That was the restaurant.
Was that why the Doctor was like Chula?
Yeah.
Oh.
It was supposed to be comedy. It's just an inside reference to like where
Right.
they met up for dinner for getting the job.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
The TARDIS phone has actually been used before by a villain called the Celestial Toymaker, but the Doctor wasn't aware of it. So maybe the Doctor just didn't know that it could work.
Right.
Or maybe the Celestial Toymaker had the same powers as that child.
Maybe.
Ooh. Maybe.
Maybe.
The working title was World War II.
Well,
Obvious.
that would make sense if there was World War Three.
Yeah.
It's like
The Empty Child works perfectly.
Yeah.
Yes. The viewership was 7.1 million. It's
Pretty
actually
sharp.
down, but if you think about all the concepts were new. Everything in this was new.
Yeah.
Aside from the fact that it was a historical in the World War.
And the trailer for this would have been a bit jarring.
Yeah, this was something that you wouldn't normally see
Yeah.
from Doctor Who.
I feel like the viewership for part 2 will be bigger.
Well, we'll have to wait and see.
Yep.
So, give your conclusion and a rating out of 10 for The Empty Child.
So my conclusion is that I really enjoyed it. Pardon me, a solid thriller. I wouldn't say horror really, but like
Not to that extent,
Yeah.
but it is scary.
yeah, edge of your seat almost.
Yeah.
It definitely at points had me like gritting my teeth and wondering what was going to happen. Especially when the child was at the house with them with all the other children.
Yeah.
And I like the mysteriousness and learning the story with the Doctor, and not just waiting for him to figure it out. We're figuring it out with him.
Yep.
So I like that. My rating would probably be, I would say 8.5 out of 10.
Yep. Okay.
And yeah, solid episode.
Nice.
Looking forward
You're
to part 2.
intrigued, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Before I do my conclusion, I did forget one bit of trivia.
Yep.
So not only was this Eccleston's favourite to work on,
Yep.
but this was also the 6th Doctor Colin Baker's favourite episode to watch
Oh, really?
of the entire show.
Shit.
Yeah. The 6th Doctor actually, like, he his run, like he didn't get to play the role he wanted to.
Yeah.
His idea for the Doctor was actually very similar to what Eccleston turned out to be.
Right.
And because it was the mid '80s, he ended up being a very bombastic and rude, like
Yeah.
quite over the top sort of character.
Yeah.
But luckily now that we have the audio stories, he's playing a character that's very similar to the Ninth Doctor now.
Right.
Not exactly the same, but it's sort of his own version.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time, I think Colin Baker sort of wishes he was he was in that story because he
Yeah.
loves the empty child the Doctor dances.
Yeah.
Which, fair enough. It's a good story. Right. So my conclusion. Yeah. So I think I always liked this one, but I remember I think it took a few viewings for me to really process it. I can totally see why like this is popular. Like this is actually legitimately one of the most popular stories. Like this two-parter.
Yeah.
It's one of the most popular stories in the history of the show.
Right.
Like it's literally, in terms of the new series, it's like second place behind Blink.
Jeez.
It's so popular.
Yeah.
Like it's very memorable. Yeah, it's awesome. I love The Empty Child. It's very intriguing, great cinematography, great atmosphere, great dialogue, great characters. It has very small niggles, like
Yeah.
just the little Stephen Moffat things that piss me off,
Right.
like that just really get under my skin, like with all of his episodes. But I can pretty much put out of the way most of it because like it's very minimal at this point.
Right.
Like it doesn't get annoying, like properly annoying until later.
What's some of them?
Just like his sense of humor is so childish.
Right.
It's just like ridiculously childish.
Yeah.
And there's just like he's got that Marvel sort of thing going on where he
right.
like stops a scene for something funny.
Yeah.
He also is one of those. I feel like when he was a kid, he was one of those guys that didn't know when he was annoying people.
Right.
I think he has that problem
Yep.
with some of his stories. But yeah, honestly, like this is a brilliant episode, and it stood the test of time, and I think it does deserve its popularity. I probably don't rate it as highly as most of the general public does, but
Yep.
I still think it's one of the best stories. Obviously, we'll have to wait till part 2 to see your final verdict on it.
Yeah.
But knowing what I know and having seen this many times and respecting its quality, I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10.
Ooh.
Very high
Yeah.
praise for me.
Another high one.
Another high one. Good old Series 1. Right. Okay, so we've got a YouTube comment. Right, so there was... Remember we watched the cliffhanger to the first Dalek story?
Yep.
And it had like Barbara, the school teacher, getting cornered by one.
Yep.
So this is from Paul Morris. He commented a bit more trivia about that cliffhanger. Not only was it a disembodied sucker, as in like plunger,
Yep.
because of the camera's viewpoint, but the operator had to have an equity card by the actors union.
Right.
Hang on, my phone just turned off. He had to have an actors union equity card, as he was judged to have performed on screen. In fact, it was therefore the assistant floor manager who was technically the first Dalek operator.
Really?
Yeah, because he had an equity card.
Right.
So they actually went through legal trouble to have that in the scene.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff I want you guys to comment. I love this kind of trivia. It's really interesting. Right, so The Empty Child. Does this episode deserve the love it gets?
Yep.
Yeah.
For sure.
Mm.
Yeah, it's definitely a good tone for Doctor Who, and I like Doctor Who in this tone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really nice. Are you looking forward to part 2, and what would you like to see?
I want to stay on that theme of us learning with the Doctor, and yeah, I am looking forward to part 2 for sure.
Yeah, what would you like to see?
The resolution.
The
you know?
resolution? Yeah.
I don't know. I want it. I don't have any expectations.
I mean, they've set up quite a few things, so
Yeah.
would you like to see it all like wrapped up nicely?
Yeah, I want to see it wrapped up nicely, but also like, sorry, it might be intriguing to have a bit of open-ended ness with the, because I still don't understand how the ship, this crashing thing, affected all these people. And like, if that's if that's wrapped up, that'd be cool. But if it's not, then it'd be cool if it, you know.
Right. Okay. Well, I guess he'll find out next time on The Doctor Dances.
See you then.
See you there.